going live. Look out, everyone, we're going live.
Did we do it?
I think we're live.
We did it.
We did it. So the game will be when do people see sparkles in our hair?
Probably yours before mine. Mine will look like accidents because you can't see anything.
Mine, you have a hard time seeing sometimes. Like it needs more of stronger light in on it.
Yeah.
So yesterday we had an adventure and got what fairy hair?
Fairy hair.
Fairy silk? Fairy hair.
Just fairy hair.
Fairy hair.
It means that your hair was touched by the fairy, so every now and then it'll sparkle.
We are now part of the fae.
However, my hair is a black hole.
Yeah.
So you can't see anything.
I can see what right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it actually shines a little bit in the light, so you might, as we turn, if the light hits it just right, see
look
like
how white my teeth look today.
Oh,
I brushed them.
Just this morning, though.
Just one time. Good job, teeth.
I
have to make up for how crooked they are.
I mean, I have no excuse for mine, so it's fine. Well, should we talk about the adventure yesterday? Do you want to do that for the pod? Or do we want to do the adventure yesterday now and then save the adventure Thursday for the pod?
Oh, I think Thursday's adventure is a pod for everybody.
So,
yesterday, we traveled back in time.
We're going back in time.
We went to see the Lady of the Lake.
Yeah.
Because that's what our Ren Fair is called.
It was it was an adorable small Ren Fair.
It was very small in a good way.
In a fantastic way. It was all in like the trees. It was in this little park.
Yeah.
So you never had like rows of stalls or anything?
Nope. It just felt like you were wandering through a little hamlet in a D&D adventure.
It was
where
so
it's like,
cool.
You might have a store for that, but you might not.
You might pass a blacksmith. You might pass a leathersmith.
Yeah, there's a couple of food places you can eat. There's one tavern.
Yeah.
It really was. It was
with adult poetry in the back.
The greatest. I wish I remembered the guy's name.
I will be honest, I forgot it too, but I'm pretty sure it's on the card that I got.
I want to say it's like Arthur Greenleaf. Okay, I'm gonna.
Arthur Greenleaf. There was a shorter name at the end too.
Arthur Greenleaf Holmes.
Yes, that's it, Holmes.
Arthur Greenleaf Holmes. Look him up. He's got a page called The Wildly Inappropriate Poetry of Arthur Greenleaf Holmes.
It was amazing.
He's so smart. And in fact, we're going to say this part on the pod again.
Yeah, probably.
Because I just think people
need to know about him.
I'll say this. It was incredibly dirty, incredibly filthy, incredibly funny, and so smart, to the point that I actually was technically there with my school, with my doctor teacher, amazing lady, who is a doctor in medieval culture and studies.
Oh, that's awesome.
The greatest. Like, that's her focus.
Okay.
She's an English teacher.
That's fantastic.
With a doctorate in medieval studies.
That's awesome.
She was like, this guy is excellent. I need him to come to school with us.
Yeah, he was.
Like, that's how intelligent this man was.
He, like, so filthy with no flat out, only a couple actual, like, curse or dirty words.
Yeah.
It's just the most amazing. And he also, in the middle of him telling his poetry, was just telling us sort of
it was like stand-up comedy performance poetry.
Yeah, but I just liked when he was explaining sort of the why in terms of he wants to bring back poetry as an art form, and that so much poetry these days is stagnant to him.
Yeah.
And it's agree.
I found this Facebook page.
Okay, I'm going to definitely
we'll
go onto his Facebook page and become a huge fan.
We'll go on as Terra, and we'll also like his page.
Yeah.
So that people can find him a little easier.
Because he was... Well, it's one of those things, too, where Nick and I got there before you guys did.
Yeah.
By only about 10 minutes or so. But as we were walking through, shocker, Nick and I in full getup. Yeah. Because that's how we roll, that we can literally pull it together in about 20 minutes.
You just own enough things where you can do that.
To be fair, I basically wear the same outfit to work on Thursday. Although with slightly less cleavage.
That's true, yeah.
I curtailed the cleavage for work. I brought it out in full force yesterday. But we were walking by and this guy just went, you look like the sort of people who enjoy poetry. And I was like, because when someone comes up to you to run fest, you're like, yeah.
You just kind of engage with mild trepidation.
And it's me, so I automatically start with a little bit of an accent. And then all of a sudden he started actually talking about his wildly inappropriate poetry show, and I went, oh no, I'm here for this actually.
Yeah, we're going to this.
And before they have even arrived, I was like, by the way, we are going to this poetry
this is happening. And then I found my professor. I was like, we're doing a thing. You should come do the thing.
And then right before you guys showed up, my favorite, and he was talking about how the things that there will not be in the show. I'll not be lifting my doublets to my pale chest and having you go woo, and will not be doing this, and I will not be mandating you to applause because of how he was going on with eloquent words and stuff. My favorite is like, I will not be, oh God, I forget the phrasing he did. He was like, I will not be going on about the shining example of what a liberal arts degree will get you.
It'll get you a lot of places.
It will.
Including a Ren Fair.
Yes. Anyways, he was fantastic, and we had an amazing time at Ren Fair, and I bought myself a beautifully fancy belt. Like,
it is very fancy.
Like a cincher leather, gorgeous elven belt.
The best thing.
That I will proceed to wear everywhere, probably for the rest of my life.
Never, amen.
No, it was a beautifully handmade by a leather master.
I'm really glad you went with that green one too.
It's beautiful, and it part of me wanted to go for the brown just because I'm like, this is more wearable.
And I hyped you up.
You did hype me up to the green.
Nope, get the green one.
But it's this beautiful master made leather belt with that's dyed with embossing of these.
They're like leaves.
They're like these elven leaves and vines
straight
and
out
stuff.
of Lord of the Rings.
Straight up. Like an elf would wear this, which has made me happy.
Yeah.
And it comes slightly apart so I can wear it to work and not be as elvish.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Just a little bit of like elvish flavor.
Which is, I call it like, it's like Disney bounding. It's everyday cosplay.
I like it. I'm a fan of that. I prefer that to most things.
Yeah. I like that every day.
Is a little bit something.
Yeah.
That was what my Christmas costume.
Yeah.
My Halloween costume was a bit of a bounding thing for Midsummer, which I'm currently obsessed. I'll share with that on the main part. Obsessed.
I just went as my inner soul.
It has been 8 days since I last watched Midsummer.
I'm not seeing it, but from the sound of it, I probably shouldn't.
You shouldn't see it, but I want to tell you all about it anyway. Okay, are you ready? You want to start?
Yeah, what episode are we on?
We are on, I believe it's 194.
194. Oh, all right.
Okay, ready, go.
Welcome to episode 194 of There's No Place Like Terra, a first watch, rewatch podcast. I am Nixie.
And I am Grace, and today we are going over SG1.
Yes.
Season 9.
Yeah.
Holy moly. When I went to watch the episode, I'll get back to the regular start. Sorry, y'all. I actually started watching season 8, episode 1, and then, wait a minute, I've seen this. Oh my gosh, we're on season 9.
Yeah.
Season 9, episode 1, Avalon.
Part 1.
Part 1. AKA, oh no, Bridges and Browder and Black. Oh my. We misspelled it, and I was like, what did I mean to right there?
That's good. I had 2, but I really like yours a lot.
Yeah.
Mine was AKA basically an New Stargate.
Yeah.
Or AKA Earth Limited Gene Pool.
Yeah. That's a good one too. I was like, I don't, how do I address?
And I basically gave you no warning for this.
We're going to say it again because I don't want to not trip all over my words. Bridges and Browder and Black.
Oh
my.
There's a couple times where I was definitely watching you and not the screen.
Yeah. It was great times.
Just to see like how long it would take you to fully react or realize, or
I was doing the thing that I think I may have learned from you at this point, because I was watching it and Jesse was in the room, and every time someone would come on the screen that was you, I would like smack them on the arm, and I was like, look, it's Bo Bridges.
That's definitely,
look, it's Ben Browder.
That's definitely my motif. Everyone knows that if you're sitting next to me in a movie, you're going to get like just slammed in the arm.
Yeah. And he's like, you're poking me. which I also apparently done on the car ride in. So we are not allowed to hang out as often as we do, although we're still going to. Because he's like, you realize every time you're trying to make a point, you poke me. When we're talking about, because we are nerds of the literary mind. Yes. I don't know, or philosophical mind. No, we're sophists, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I mean, listen. As couples, we have very different genres of nerd.
Yeah. I think we're definitely some sort of weird, because so we were discussing the concept of performativity.
Okay. That is not a discussion that would have in this household.
Yeah, yeah. And so we were on opposite sides of the idea, or like whether it's something that you must do, something that the mind demands, or something that the mind is able to do, or blah, blah, blah. But every time I would try to make a point, I would poke him. He goes, "You're poking me every time you make a point." It's a little frustrating. I was like, okay, I'll stop. I'm going to sit on my hands.
If I sit on my hands, I basically can't talk.
Yeah. Well, that's the Italian.
Yeah. So
I'm ready.
My favorite, just a real quick touch on that, is everyone loves to sit back and watch when Jesse and I have the discussions about anything nerd related.
Oh yeah.
Because we find our satisfaction from very different places.
Oh yeah.
We've had a couple very long conversations about Dresden Files.
Yeah.
Because Jesse started reading them and cannot stand them because they're just pulp fiction beach reads.
Yeah.
That, listen, I love them. They're not the best written things in the face of the earth. Yeah, and I have no cares about that. Yeah. And Jesse cannot get past that. And it is both.
It is
100% valid. And so it's just two people arguing about how it's perfectly fine if the other person likes or doesn't like it.
Yeah.
But we just keep talking about it.
It's like, but I still don't like it, or but I still like it. Yeah. It's the curse. I'm learning it. It's the curse of the writer. It's the curse of the writer who's trained in writing. As I I don't know.
I mean, listen, are you able to
threw myself into the same school of thinking by adding a minor to my major? By the way, guys, I did that because why not? School's not hard enough.
That's okay. I dropped mine after a while and just went for fine arts instead of an arts degree.
I realized that you can't unsee what you see. Like, you can't unlearn it. So then you start reading or you start watching movies and you're like, I can't see the mistakes all of a sudden.
I mean, listen, are you able to watch news at all without critiquing every corner of that screen?
That's exactly what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like, you can't unsee what you see.
No.
On that note, I know we're going into other things. Yes. And I know this is a Stargate podcast.
It is.
But I'm going to take 3 minutes.
Yes.
To talk about the movie Midsommar.
Oh, okay. That's not where I thought you were going.
Other thing.
That's because we have like 2 other things before we start this podcast. We have
700 things to talk about, and then eventually we'll talk about Stargate. We promise. Give me 3 minutes.
Yes.
The greatest, not even just scary movie, the greatest movie I've seen in a solid, I can't think of a better movie I've seen in a while. So maybe just my favorite movie of all time until I can remember others. Movie Midsommar. It is a scary movie. It is Ari Aster. This is his sophomore effort.
Question. When you say scary movie, are we talking like
it's not
slasher film?
Nope.
Or like The Shining fuck you up mentally?
This makes The Shining seem mild.
Okay, so I can't even watch The Shining.
This is a psychologically fuck you up movie.
Yep, never watching it.
It is beautiful. It is beautifully done. It is. I want you to watch it so bad because it looks great.
If you make a master edit to take away the scary parts.
Here's the thing. There's no jump scares. There's not one jump scare.
No, I figured it's not jump scare. I'm just talking all of the psychological horror parts. It's probably going to be 3 minutes long when you're done.
What we'll do is we'll watch it on mute, and there'll be some times where I'll go, "Don't look at this."
Okay.
Don't look at this.
That's fine.
It's just gorgeous.
We'll watch it on mute, and we'll put our own voices, very MST3K style. Yeah,
and I'll just tell you what's happening in like much lighter tones.
There you go. That works.
Yeah. The use of color, the use the guy's just got an eye.
So
beautiful eye. This for how things are set up.
Quasi reminds me. I did not colors, and I just remember these like scenes and like images in my head. was so cool, and I haven't seen it. Let's watch that. Halfway through the film, I went,
this isn't it.
This is not the film that I'm remembering in my head. And then I sat there trying to not miss any of the film, because you have to read the subtitles while trying to search.
Did you have the wrong movie?
I had the wrong movie. I was confusing it with House of Flying Daggers.
I mean, I can see why.
But however, if I told someone like Jesse that, he'd be like,
we can't be friends anymore. No, I get it.
He'd be more like, how do you confuse those?
Yeah. But guys, watch Midsummer. So important. It's the guy who did Hereditary. So if you can sit through Hereditary, you can sit through this.
I was told I also wasn't.
Yeah, you're not allowed to watch Hereditary. I think Hereditary's got more jump scares than this one does. It's more scary in that sense. This one just gets under your skin and lives there. It's compared to The Wicker Man. I think that's softballing it.
Also didn't see that one.
Yeah. There's just watch it. I'm obsessively cannot stop thinking about this film, to the point where that was my costume for Halloween. I was the sad May Queen. Usually
the ones that I can't get in my head, it's really good that I don't get the scary ones stuck in my head.
I love it so much
because they affect me for way too long.
Well, I still can't go to the bathroom at night and not think of the movie Us.
Oh no, I can't go to the movie at night and not think of the Fluke Man coming up through the toilet.
But I think the Us thing is my weird obsession with doppelgangers.
Oh yeah,
my weird doppelganger aversion.
Yeah, you know this. You've already mentioned many times that you would kill your doppelganger on site.
On site, get rid of it. I eventually will do a deep dive into whatever self-loathing that is, but I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, that's my thing. Watch Midsummer. You can call it Midsommar. I think both are acceptable as far as the director is concerned. Midsommar. Go check it out. That's all.
Also, speaking of things we're going to recommend to you.
Oh, are we going to talk about a Ren Fair guy?
Yeah.
Guys, we went to...
This is something for everyone. Listen, if you listen to this podcast...
You'll love this guy.
Like, this guy makes us look like clean schoolgirls.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Innocent. We are nuns in the convent.
We cannot approach this guy and his eloquence in the use of horrible, dirty
Not
language.
only in his filthiness, but in just his sheer intelligence.
And word usage.
I think he may be a reincarnation of the Bard.
Like, he uses words better than Nixie.
He words wordier than anyone that's ever worded.
Basically.
Yeah.
Like, legit, passes the torch from Shakespeare.
Yeah. I'm convinced he's the reincarnation of him. Arthur Greenleaf Holmes. Check him out on Facebook. I think he's got some YouTube things.
Yeah.
He is a medieval bard, poet.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
We sat down. We went to the Ren Fair yesterday. Among all the other things, we sat down for a show because he came up. You tell this part.
He came up to us right as we got here. You and Jesse weren't there yet. It was just Nick and I in full Ren Fair Viking-ish dress. And he started and hey, do you like dirty poetry? And we're like, sure, in the same way. But then as he started talking, we're like, sat down, and oh boy, was it worth it.
Filthy, funny.
My favorite was Ode to a Menstrual Tent.
Hut.
Yes. Ode to a Menstrual Hut.
There was so much. There was so much that was great. I don't want to give any of it away.
I don't either. It was
just Google him.
Just Google him. He was.
I think I liked him through the Terra page, so it'll show him as a recent like.
Yeah. And if not, how many people are called Arthur Greenleaf Holmes?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And trust me, when you get to his stuff, you'll know.
Yeah. You won't be confused.
You won't be confused.
No, this is the guy.
Do not listen with your, not that you'll probably listen to this with your kids around. Do not listen with your kids around. Don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that.
I mean, unless your kids are grown.
And either grown or literal infants.
Together. Yeah.
Yeah. Grown or literal infants. Nowhere in between.
Y'all, I promise we're gonna get to Stargate.
We have one more thing.
One more. Guess who finally DM'd an adventure? Full on.
So I've done a couple Strahds. I've done the intro to Strahd before, but it was over Skype, and just because of life and how difficult it is to do with someone who's a distance, we have not gotten much further. However,
and it was also pretty much all newbie players.
Except for, there was Nick, who's played before. Matt has played a couple times.
But to me, like, they're still in the novice level.
Yeah.
So you not only you DM'd for 2 seasoned veterans of the game.
Seasoned DMs.
Like, seasoned, like, 30 years worth of playing.
Like, seasons where I'm still going, hey, what's the rule on this?
Yeah.
Which I have no problem doing, and I'm glad they have no problem telling me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fucking awesome.
We started Descent to Avernus.
Yeah.
The newest large campaign out.
Fun times.
It was a lot of fun.
Uh-huh.
It went well. It was a shorter night just because we started after work, but you know.
Like one good bar fight.
It starts with a bar fight. I mean, how can you go wrong?
One good bar fight. Our insane druid didn't say druid things. Tried to talk to someone while in weasel form.
Yeah, legit. Got smacked across the room.
In the way only Nick could think of, where it's like, there's no sense to this, but fine.
Yeah.
Please, feel free.
He then jumped back on the table and turned back into a tiefling form. So then he's just crouching as a tiefling on the table.
On the scary woman's table.
In the middle of, like, ruffians playing dice.
Yeah. And then we beat a bunch of shit up.
You beat up a bunch of pirates.
I took out, like, 3 dudes myself.
I know.
And I am unarmed. Thank y'all very much.
Well, you know, your fists are your weapons.
Yeah, my fists speak for me.
But yeah, it went pretty well.
Yeah, it was good times. I think I shared. I'm playing Rosie.
Yes.
A pugilist. A class we found, which I don't think is canon.
It's not canon.
It's fucking great.
I mean, to be fair, Sam's Artificer wasn't canon until recently. But it was harder for me the first round because as all of these start, there's like 2 pages worth of just background
just get out the
text
story.
I have to read first in order to get you guys from where I'd put you to where you're supposed to be. And there's a couple times where it's like, hey guys, just go with this and say yes, even if your characters wouldn't, because it's how the story starts.
Just please go here. Please go here.
After this, you can pick wherever you want to go. Just get here first.
Yeah.
I just almost knocked my mic over.
It was don't kill your mic.
Don't kill the mic.
Super fun times. I can't wait to play again. I'm hoping it's sooner versus later and that friend Amanda can join us.
Yes, I forgot, like, there's homework now as a DM.
Oh, yeah.
Between
you've got things to do, my friend.
I've only done, like, an hour's worth of it.
It's why I'm like, I can't DM. I'm in school.
Yeah. I
have, like, 8 hours worth of a paper to go home and finish tonight.
Yeah. I have, like, 8 hours of the Okay.
Back to why we're here. Welcome to There's No Place Like Terra,
a Stargate First Rewatch podcast. I am not Grace.
And I am not Nixie. And we never talk about anything but Stargate, so here we go.
July 15th, 2005. We have a number of new faces this episode, including...
It's so weird that they start the season in the summer.
Well, I think it's because, like, they especially these later seasons, they were doing like half seasons. They did that fully separated so that one was sort of before the fall lineup.
Okay.
And then one was in that break.
Okay. So these are in the middle of break shows.
Yeah.
Got it. The downtime, if you will.
Yeah. Like, I think that's where Sci-Fi did a lot of those.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Because it was before all the network stuff started.
And so
there's
smart.
A lot of I think
looking for something new to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Ready. I'm there. Let's get back on track.
A number of new faces, including Mr. Bedrouter as Lieutenant Colonel Cameron Mitchell, which, fun fact, my old computer was named Camsmac.
Oh.
Because of Cam.
Nice. Because
my mom realized that Cam backwards is Mac.
That's cute.
Yeah. And Beau Bridges as Major General Hank Landry.
And the Bridges on board, y'all.
Claudia Black back as Vala Monderon.
As the baddest woman in the
Who
world.
the person I officially want Grace to cosplay as.
She's just like the sexiest woman in the world.
Uh-huh.
There's just no way, but I'm gonna do it.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. You have a great advantage that a lot of people don't have. You have the hair.
I do have the hair. It's already, yeah, that's true.
A lot of people
there's
do not have the hair.
Yeah, I do have the hair. I mean, I love Claudia Black and all her iterations, whether they are in Uncharted or in
She's
Stargate
just amazing.
or in Farscape.
She's just amazing.
She's just fucking cool.
Claudia, I already covered and introduced you to in Prometheus Unbound. Unbound. Ben Browder.
If she's introduced in Unbound and in this episode, they're totally bound.
Totally.
Okay, that's all.
Obviously, everyone knows Ben Browder from John Crichton on Farscape. I was able to keep this a secret the whole time we were getting Grace to watch Farscape.
Yeah, I had no idea. I truly didn't until we watched this episode last week.
Yeah. Yeah. And then a couple weeks ago when you're like, I don't know if I'm digging him as John Crichton. And I'm like, oh, you're going to like him as...
I already like him.
Cam Mitchell's a lot different than John Crichton.
It just goes to show that sometimes certain writing just lights people up in a different way.
Yeah. It's also just characters and mannerisms and and so the first thing, his big first thing was a reoccurring spot on Party of Five in some season. He was Sam. I never watched Party of Five.
I did watch Party of Five.
He was in some season and his name was Sam.
His name was Sam.
Third season I thought I saw.
I wonder if he was probably Nev Campbell's boyfriend.
Sure.
I'm gonna look it up.
You look it up, I'll continue.
Yes.
He got 2 Saturn Awards for Best Actor for his work on Farscape.
Okay.
And fun fact, on Stargate, he ends up going on to perform most of his own stunts because he's Ben Browder.
Nice.
He was also in an episode of Doctor Who.
Oh.
He was in A Town Called Mercy.
I remember that. Wait, I know that one.
Yeah, you do.
Is that the Old Westy one?
That's the Old West one.
Yes, that's why I know it.
He was the sheriff.
Yeah.
It was the 11th Doctor, Amy and Rory, my favorite trio on the series. And he has been up and contemplated for a few different roles on Stargate. Good thing he didn't get them.
Wow, I wonder what the other ones were. Do we know?
One, I thought I've read something that he was one of the people possibly considered for Shepard.
Oh.
He was also then most recently considered for Colonel Everett.
Okay.
But there was one earlier on in the series that he was considered for, and I don't remember who it was.
I mean, I could have seen him as Shepard, but I think Shepard is Shepard.
Shepard is Shepard.
But this is great. This works.
Bo comes from an illustrious family.
Oh, just if you ever wondered. Does the name Bridges sound familiar?
I'm pretty sure you've heard of them.
Yeah.
His dad, Lloyd Bridges, has done, everything. However, I will always remember him from Airplane as the guy who helps them land the plane from the tower. I picked a wrong week to quit drinking.
Yeah.
To quit smoking. To quit huffing glue.
Just,
To quit methamphetamines. Yeah.
Okay, so Ben Browder played Sam Brody in the 3rd season of Party of Five. His character was a carpenter who had a crush, who the oldest daughter, Neville, had a crush on. And then they dated, and then he was written out of the show when she decided to break up with him. So I had it right.
You did have it right. And so Bo has a younger brother, who you may also know.
Oh, yeah.
He's frequently known as the Dude.
He is the Dude. He is the Dude. Have you ever heard him in an interview?
Yeah, he is the Dude.
He is the Dude.
I mean, he's been in a ton of other things, but he's the Dude.
I mean, yeah. He's an incredible dude, too. Again, it's just unfair. Like, all that family. Just
all the family.
Yeah.
He has 3 Emmys, 2 Golden Globes, 1 Grammy.
Bonus?
Yeah. Wow. Not a shocker. He started with small roles at an early age, and working with his dad, a few times with his brother.
Huh.
Shocker. A few times with his son Dylan, too.
Oh.
And I do think the first time I registered him was when he was playing Jack McFarlane's dad on Will and Grace.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. His stepdad. Yeah. And right before Stargate, he was playing the director of the CIA on the agency, so not too far in realm from.
So he's pretty good at this government military typey things.
Yeah. I also want to point out one more thing that one of his Emmy Awards was for Outstanding Actor in a miniseries or special for the positively true adventures of the alleged Texas cheerleader murdering mom, the story that was just covered on My Favorite Murder.
Wait, is it the one about the lady who wants her daughter to be the cheerleader?
Uh-huh.
Oh my god!
With Holly Hunter. Yep.
We have to find that movie. And
he played Terry, the brother-in-law Wanda tries to hire to find a hitman to kill the teenage cheerleader.
Oh my god!
I know.
Y'all, this story is insane. Look up the Texas cheerleader murder. It's this woman who wanted to be a cheerleader.
She's just the ultimate stage mom,
and she couldn't. And so then she tries to make her daughter do it. Yeah, Gypsy Rose Lee.
Yeah, Gypsy Rose Lee for sure.
She might as well have named her that. And then decides that to get her daughter to win, she must kill people because that's natural.
It's totally natural. Mm-hmm. Not just people, like other high school girls.
Children. She decides that she needs to kill children.
Yes.
Y'all, we're 20 minutes in. We haven't even started the episode. I'm so sorry.
We start with the mysterious uniformed man walking up to the Stargate in awe.
I'm sorry. I just remembered what I know about Bridgerton first.
Who do you know from first?
Sidekicks. The Jonathan Brandis.
Jonathan Brandis movie! With Matthew Dangerfield.
No, that's Ladybugs.
Oh, that's Ladybugs. Yes. Sorry, they sound so alike, to be fair.
Oh, same.
To be fair, I believe it's the same character. One's played by Beau Bridges, the other one's played by Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah. Okay, that's all. I'm done.
Guys,
show.
I love Jonathan Brandis. Okay. So, mysterious uniformed man walking up to the Stargate with very moving single horn Stargate music.
It's very much like he's having some sort of mating ritual with the gate.
I mean, wouldn't you with the Stargate?
Yeah.
It's a giant hole.
This is just yeah.
Not wrong.
You penetrate the hole. Everything is vaginas and penises.
I mean, look at the kawoosh. Come on.
If I've learned nothing else from my medieval studies, is everything is swords or penises.
Yeah.
Caves or vaginas.
Everything goes back to sex.
A vagina. Yep.
So Walter tells us this is Cameron Mitchell. He was a dogfighter over in Antarctica a few years ago. He actually led the F-302 wing against Anubis' forces. We have an amazing flashback to the dogfight, shots we've never seen before. They're like Top Gun, Hoth level dogfights.
They're pretty great.
They're great. Mm-hmm. When we come back, Walter introduced himself. He's gotten a promotion.
Walter.
He's now Chief Master Sergeant.
Hell yeah, Walter. Walter's like the sleeper, awesome dude. He's just everybody's out here making all these big moves, and he's like, I'm just slowly gonna climb up the ranks.
I'm literally the person keeping the base running.
In 10 years, he's gonna be head of the SGC.
Yeah,
because no one else will be better.
Literally keeping the base running.
Yeah, he's playing the long game. Good job, Walter.
But he welcomes Cam to Stargate Command. And then we had credits, and I believe I turned to you and went, so how you doing, Grace?
I was not. I was just not. I was like, And
then you watch the credits, you're like, who's this other dude? How is Beau Bridges in this?
Yeah, what's happening? What is happening? Yeah, it was yeah.
You had a couple blue screen moments in this.
Yeah.
When we come back, we realize Jack is gone. General Landry is now in command of the SGC. He hasn't even finished unpacking his office, so he's also new.
Yeah.
We have another flashback here to the hangar.
We've just had an entire reset at SGC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just Control Alt Delete.
Mm-hmm. It's like
cycle the system.
Have you ever gone back to? Well, I think a couple of us that work where we work have local TV stations we worked at before here.
Yes.
And we have the opportunity to go back, and it's it's somehow the same place, but not at all because none of the people are there. Yeah. I mean, it's just a really interesting
in my
feeling.
case, the place I worked for is no longer.
Well, yeah. So I didn't want to.
That's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
But I've had this with a couple of people at work. Where it's it's not. It's very strange.
Very different.
Mm.
But we have another flashback to the hangar before the Antarctica fight with Cam briefing his pilots.
Yep.
I do love Landry's entrance here. Quote, cocky sons of bitches, Marines. Never liked them.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And I also love this conversation because Landry's like, your service record's too good. It's too shiny.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Mm-hmm.
No one's that perfect. And
do
Cam's like,
walls? What do you do?
I'm impatient. He's like, you're a fucking pilot. Of course you're impatient.
Yeah.
You're a type A personality.
Yeah.
Kryptonite. I want to know kryptonite.
Do you punch people? Do you sleep with everybody? Do you have a oh god, my brain's blanking. Oh, William Shatner. What's his character's name?
Kirk.
Do you have the Kirk syndrome?
Do you have Kirk? And we again see that Walter is the best at his job. So good that Landry never has a chance to yell at him.
Which he hates.
He does. Landry hands Cam a large deck of folders to get started picking his team. And he's like, I'm sorry, can we pause? Can you roll back the tape just a little bit? There's some confusion here. I'm here to join SG1. Yeah. Landry's like, ish, sort of. You're going to lead SG1.
I'm super pissed for him. Imagine the bait and switch.
Yeah.
Imagine you take a job and you're like, I'm going to work with these people. And they're like, bye.
But again, it's one of those where technically he's asked to join SG1.
Yeah.
And technically he is on SG1.
Yeah, but there's a lot of content there that's missing. Not cool.
Sam, we learn, has taken command of Stargate's R&D out of Area 51 just last week. Daniel's put in for reassignment, which we'll find out later what that is. And Teal left the program over a month ago. And Jack didn't tell Cam any of this.
Yeah, that's not cool.
So I love the small Jack fact that we learn here, too, that he never used the drawers in his desk.
No, of course not. He never had any paperwork. He just had Walter do everything.
Well, I also just like the thing that, like, Hammond locked them and, like, left the key somewhere. And Jack just kind of went, oh, they're locked. I won't use this now.
Yeah. That's how Jack works.
So I'd like to think, here's what in my mind has happened. Hammond left Jack a heartfelt passing the torch note in the top drawer.
Oh.
Jack never found it.
No, because he didn't try hard enough. But here's the thing. Hammond's smart. If Hammond was going to leave Jack something, he would make it easy. He'd leave it under a plate of blue jello.
Well, like, but this was like if you find this note. This is like a secondary note.
It's like, let's see if this fucker gets to it. Like, he did it knowing well that he may never find it.
100%. And really, he just had to ask Walter. Walter had the keys the whole time.
He probably had some sort of answer to a question that Jack always wanted to know, and Hammond would never tell him. And he's like, I'm going to put it right here under his nose, and he's never going to know.
Where is the closet that holds all the blue jello?
Yeah.
And the pie.
Is the pie
Where's
closet?
The pie closet?
I need a pie closet. I can imagine it. Is that wrong? Like in my head, I can see the pie closet.
No, I can.
The pie closet has like, okay, ready? It has like green and white gingham wallpaper.
Well, here's the thing. First of all, the door, instead of being a half moon that you find for like an outhouse,
it's a pie piece.
Yeah, it's like a half pie. Yeah.
And then there's just these racks that's like with pies on them.
Yeah.
And then there's a warming light.
There's a warming light, but like the edges of all of the shelves have that little bit of like craftsman architecture flourishes on.
Yeah. I want a pie closet.
And there's a slot in the back where the pies like come from.
Yeah, like the old the old school like 1950s style lunch places where someone just slipped food underneath and you never saw their faces. This is fine. Pie closet.
Needless to say, Cam is super put off by the idea that this isn't quite the assignment he signed up for. In Daniel's office, Daniel somehow got more handsome. This is another moment where I turn to you just to look at your reaction.
Of the handsome guy club?
Yeah.
It's too much handsome on one TV.
So the beard was apparently Michael's idea.
Nice.
Partly because of some jokes that had been said about how him and Ben kind of sort of look alike.
Yeah.
And
they're definitely the same. Like someone who that's their type would date both of them.
100%. And so he was like, well, I don't really love shaving every day.
Yeah.
And I love this quote to paraphrase in a Gate World interview he did.
Mhm.
He was like, look, obviously if you have us close up in a tight shot, you can tell us apart. But if you have some big sweeping wide shot, we're just two 6-foot-tall white guys with blue eyes and brown hair. And so sometimes we needed a bit more than just glasses to separate them because someone doesn't always wear glasses.
Yeah. Yeah. They do look very much alike. I mean, so close that if I look like one of them and run to the other, I might try to kill him.
Yeah. Doppelganger.
Yeah.
Kill it.
Too close. I'm watching you.
So, Daniel is packing his office when Cam comes in to introduce himself, and Daniel is finally leaving.
Yeah.
And Cam is not here to help him pack. He's so excited. He's so excited that everything else is boring and doesn't exist to him. Daniel laughs off. He's not staying. Cam's like, the SGC still needs you. He's like, you are the foremost expert on the ancients. And he's like, that's why I'm going to Atlantis.
Because it's exciting there.
The city of the ancients.
I gotta go. Can you imagine how excited? Like, Daniel's like peeing his pants.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. He hasn't eaten in days.
No.
Yeah. You know when you have a field trip and you get up like super early in the morning? This is him.
And then you have like the nervous poops.
Yeah. That's what he's doing.
So, and we learn why Cam is so off-put about leading SG1. It's the same concept we've just talked about. SG1 to him isn't 2 letters, a dash, and a number. SG1 is Sam and Teal'c and Daniel.
Yes.
And Daniel is very flattered, but he's not staying. No interest.
Yep.
He admits that they owe a lot to Cam. We get another flashback to him taking out an Elkesh around, Prometheus and stuff. And Cam doesn't want Daniel to stay here just because he owes Cam something, unless he's considering it because of that. He would allow that if that was the case. Yeah. But Daniel's like, no, I was going to offer you my apartment.
Yeah. So take a minute and imagine this with me, right? Because we've all had neighbors that we don't know that well.
Yeah.
I bet you no one would even notice that it's a different guy living there.
No.
That's how I liked it. It'd be like, oh, the guy in like 5E got a new car.
And they're never there. Well, besides the fact, didn't last time we see Daniel, he lived in a house?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, now he's got an apartment. Yeah. But just the idea of like, sometimes you just don't pay that close attention. You're just like, handsome, tall dude, got it. Okay.
Here's why I think he moved from a house to an apartment. Is because he realized he wasn't going to do yard work or anything.
Oh, yeah. It's the same reason Jesse doesn't like our house.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want to do any of this.
I'm not like, listen, I'm an outdoor person, but not like an outdoor and like yard work person.
I'm a yard person. I just don't have time. But yeah, I enjoy it.
No, that was Daniel talking.
Oh, yeah, fair.
And me talking. So on Dakara, Cam meets up with Teal'c, who they've clearly been working hard on their internal decorating skills. Teal'c wonders where the rest of the team is, but Cam's like, it's just SG me.
Can I tell you that I forgot what Takara was called, and so in my notes I called it Planet Teal'c.
That's fine. Planet Teal'c works. I'm pretty sure that's the other name for it. That's like the
Planet Teal'c. That's the American name for it.
Yeah. Translation. Teal'c can offer names of those he considers to be honorable warriors, which I love this distinction. Not like the quote-unquote best warriors.
Yeah, honorable.
Not like in terms of skill or technique. I guess that's not the best word. But to Teal'c, the most honorable warriors.
Yeah, it's just not who can hit hardest, who can hit fastest, or who can hit strongest. It's like who can I trust the most?
Exactly. So the Jafar are in the process of building a whole new system of government that will span the galaxy. And for now, it's not going well.
No.
So, because what's the saying that someone said about, building governments is messy or something?
Oh, I don't know. I just think of the idea of like the formation of groups is forming, storming, norming, and performing. It's a real thing. And so like...
I was like, did Lin-Manuel Miranda write that?
No. It's like a real thing. It's like, so when you form a group, right, the first thing that happens is it forms. The second thing is that there's just tumultuous things. It's just crazy town. It's the storming phase where there's conflict, there's issues, there's problems, everything's
lightning
trouble.
and thunder.
Yeah, and then finally it normalizes, and then once you get into that, like, okay, now we're a team, then you can perform your team work.
Yeah, they're definitely in the storm still.
They're super stormy.
And part of the reason is that there's a lot of, especially probably the older Jaffa, who are very stuck in their culture and in their antiquated rituals.
Yep.
And they're being
adapting.
dragged, kicked, and screaming.
Yeah.
And they mistrust the Tari, who've come to help. They see the proposed new government, partly because maybe the Tari influence on it is just a way of controlling their new freedom. And honestly, this is one of the first times Teal'c's connections to Earth not helping the situation.
No, in that fact, it may be making things worse. Yeah.
So, well, as Cam says, politics sucks everywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
True that.
Ba-dum-bum-ba-dum-bum.
Get our first indeed of the episode.
Yeah.
So Cam's like, well, I have a spot open on my team for you.
Just in case you're looking for the way out of here. Thanks, bye.
And Ragnar interrupts because the council is returning from recess, and Teal'c leaves, and
they got to go to recess? Sorry.
And Cam sort of under his voice is like, did I mention I'm on a mission from God? Any Blues Brothers reference I'm down for. And he offers an SG1 job to the first Jaffa who passes, and then basically, how you doing to the next woman who passes.
He's just desperate at this point. He's just standing on the street corner passing out flyers, and he's like, "Hey, hot girl, you want to be on my team?"
Has no clue where the Stargate is.
No.
Back at the SGC, Cam FaceTimes Sam, and it's clear they know each other somewhat. And in my headcanon, I think they're about the same age. My headcanon is they went to the academy together.
Oh, okay. In my head, he's a little bit younger.
Well, maybe senior, freshman, first and last year. Kaylee.
I wanted to give her a second to get that one was super loud in my ear, so I don't want to do that to people.
Kaylee, come here. Come on. Good girl. Come on. You're such a little annoying little puppy. Come here. All the way. Come on. Underneath.
We can
Good girl.
start where he FaceTime Sam.
Down. Yeah, that's what I was going to. Lay down. Lay down. All the way. All the way.
Good girl.
All the way.
Lay down, kid.
Or just sit there. Okay. So back at the SGC, Cam FaceTimes Sam. It's clear they know each other somewhat. And in my headcanon, I just kind of think they were at the academy together.
I can see that. I can see, where they're just maybe she just seems so much wiser than him that I feel like she may be a little older.
It might be freshman, senior. I know they don't use
run into each other.
They don't use freshman, senior, but you know what I mean.
They're like a year or so. She's ahead of him a little bit. Yeah.
And she's working hard in new hyperdrive and other sciencey things. And he cuts to the chase and asks her back to SG1. And Sam sort of smiles and says that she has her reasons for wanting this job. Slight inside joke. At this point, Amanda Tapping's super pregnant.
That's her reason.
She has her reasons for being on FaceTime.
I do want to mention that again, Amanda Tapping starts the season with another fucking amazing hairstyle.
I kind of want her haircut.
Yeah, every season she's like, "What's up, bitches? I got a new one."
Yeah, and
she's kind of great.
Always fantastic.
Yes.
So, Cam has his reasons for wanting Sam back too. One of them was working with Sam because, what if the world needs saving?
Yeah.
And Sam's like, well, I'll do what I can.
Yeah, I'm still interested in the whole world saving things.
And he goes, well, what if the world needs saving because I screwed it up and because you weren't here in the first place? And he kind of pauses and looks around. He's like, pretend I didn't say that. That's
when you really do realize that they do know each other. Because for him to be able to just blurt that out, there's some sort of trust there.
Exactly. And Sam is called away on either Prometheus or the Daedalus, whatever one she's on.
Yeah.
And after the call ends, Cam tells Walter it looks like they're not getting the band back together.
Yeah. He's definitely dealing with imposter syndrome.
Oh, yes.
He's dealing, or I'm going to pull from Karen Kilgariff, secret superstar syndrome.
That sounds so much better than imposter
what if
syndrome.
We're not imposters? What if we're secret superstars?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds much better. I also love another Blues Brothers reference. So in a flashback, we see Cam's 302 get hit. His co-pilot dies, and his eject fails.
Oh, yes.
So we can't even get out, and the ship calls Mayday, and it hits hard and goes sliding for a long time, and all the glass breaks, and it doesn't look like something someone should be able to survive.
Bad times.
We come back to Landry and Jack playing chess outside with a very handsome-looking black dog sitting next to Landry.
Yes. Yeah. This is how they show us in so many ways how we like him.
Anyone who has a dog.
We like Hank. He's got a dog. He talks. He shoots it straight when he talks to Cam. He
plays
friends
chess with Jack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This guy is a good guy.
Exactly.
Yeah. What a great way to do that without telling us.
And also, I have a soft spot in my heart for black dogs.
Yeah.
Because that's what I've always had growing up.
I mean, I'm not against them.
Well, Kaylee Thor is the first all black dog in the family.
Yeah.
She's special.
Yeah.
So
she opened the door for Finn.
She did. Well, Finn's still pretty much
great.
Black. Yeah. True.
He's steel colored.
Yeah. But he's still closer to black than Kaylee is.
That's fair.
She has that little patch, but that's all. And we don't know where Jack has gone to just yet, but we do know he's not in Colorado Springs. He came back to sign the papers to his house, his car, his motorcycle, and figured he'd check in with Landry while he's here.
Wow.
He's like, how's Cam doing? He's like,
he mad.
You could have told him about the SG1
Thanks
situation.
For leaving me with all of your dirty work.
He's like, yeah.
About that.
And I do love how Landry chimes to claim a General MacArthur quote is his.
Yeah.
And eventually Jack wins the chess match.
Yeah.
So the next scene is in the briefing room as Cam interviews possible teammates.
Oh, boy.
And it's good.
The cringe fest is real.
The cringe fest is real.
It's like the first rounds of American Idol up in here.
It is.
It's just cringy. I hate it and I love it all at the same time.
It's the fourth circle of hell for Cam.
Mm-hmm.
He can't stand it. I love the one guy's personal tidbit that people call him Dave.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Which is his name.
It's like we get the smart girl. We get Dave.
Yeah.
We get the magnetic fields dude. We get push-ups man.
Yep.
And then we get our scientists.
Who discovered an android on the same planet as Terra, dude.
Forgot that's where he was.
Yep, it's from Terra. So as Cam tunes these things out, we flash back to Cam in his crashed ship, fighting to stay conscious with the snow and the wind and the cold passing over him, hearing about the squid missiles taking everything out, and eventually he does
beautiful.
Succumb to pass outedness.
Yeah. That's what happens when you crash and
in the snow.
Going real fast.
In Antarctica, where it's real cold.
Your body's like, hey, fuck you.
You be real cold. And you know what? Here's the thing. From experience, you shouldn't have your skin exposed to that for that long.
Yeah.
He's lucky to lose a nose.
Yeah. He's so handsome. They probably put one back on.
Probably.
Yeah.
So, but we see time. I love the way that we see time pass.
What if he didn't look like that before and they had to reconstruct his face?
Except
and they just used Daniels
from before.
Fine. Fine.
But we see time pass in this really cool way because it's from his eyeballs.
Yeah.
We see his eyeballs open and close.
Yeah.
And because he's sort of slipping out of moments of consciousness in the hospital.
Yeah.
And you can see he was real rough off, died a couple times.
Well, they weren't sure if he was going to walk at some point.
His mother visited. The doctor told him his chance of being able to walk again was slim to none.
Yeah.
Daniel came to thank him on a nice little bomber jacket. Sam and some others came in full uniform, giving him the Congressional Medal of Honor.
Yeah.
And then Jack telling him that when he's better, he can do anything he wants.
You can have the world.
Professionally.
Mostly.
And when I say anything, I mean, not, you get the point.
It's funny because the reason Jack talks this way is because Jack only knows these phrases in the filter of what Jack would ask for. Whereas Cam's probably not thinking of anything crazy. He's like, oh, don't say that because I would ask for this crazy thing.
Yeah.
And he's the only one who thinks that way.
Yeah, I can only imagine the things in Jack's head he would ask
if
for.
He's like, anything?
Pie closet.
Yes, a pie closet 7 ponies. Yeah. And access to the red button. Which red button? Yes.
My own F302.
Yeah. Every red button.
It's just a red button that opens the pie closet.
Yeah. But that's what, yeah. Jack's like, just like, I want access to any red button I see ever. It's like, I won't push it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at some
that
point,
sounds so satisfying. Okay.
I'm just going to give Grace a red button for Christmas.
Yes.
So do you remember Staples had the big red,
The
like,
easy button?
the easy button?
Yeah, yeah.
In my old office, we actually had a big red easy button. So we could just press it. Whenever someone asked for one of those crazy things at work you're like, it's the long drawn, you just be like, easy button.
Yeah. No, I want this like a destroy the things button. Like I want it to look dangerous. I want it to look like
flip top and you do a toggle.
Yeah. And then you gotta enter the code and then you push the red button. Okay.
So at some point after this, Landry calls Cam into the gate room because SG12 sent word that they're arriving soon, and with them is a familiar face. One very hot, very smexy.
Super
Vala Maldaraj.
Super.
I can't express to you how awesome she is.
She's just so cool.
Because here's the thing. It's not just the outfit that's hot. It's just her.
You can't not smile.
I know.
You can't not smile when you see her or when you hear her. She's just engaging. She's charisma factor.
Like, charisma is off the charts.
Yeah.
You're like, I would hang out with you.
Yeah, I will kill a man.
I might make out with you.
What do you need me to do? Anything. Yes.
Yeah.
I will kill a man. But she would never ask you to do that. Only naughty things.
Yeah.
Not like...
And you'd be like...
evil things.
Yeah, okay, I'm down with that.
Let's do it. But yeah. She's the friend that gets you into trouble if you were the good kid.
So much trouble.
She's like, come on, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be great times.
Sometimes I need that in my life.
Oh, I think it's important to have that.
And I do love how she looks at Cam and says, I know we haven't met before.
Mm-hmm. But we will.
She's sure she would remember.
Oh, yeah.
And while she would normally be thrilled to have this much testosterone around her at her disposal, where is my Daniel?
Oh, I love that phrase so much.
Over the briefing room, Daniel rushes in, sees Vala, has no pleasantries, just wants to know the tablet.
Daniel is so ungrateful to have such a 10 interested in him.
I know.
You are so ungrateful, Daniel.
To be fair, 10 is an insult to Vala.
Well, yes. She's like a 10 stacked on 10 stacked on 10.
Yeah.
Like, but Daniel, find some gratefulness in your life because this is amazing.
She has this tablet that quote unquote leads to incredible ancient buried treasure. Mm-hmm. And she's like, oh, there is no tablet. I lied.
She's just a pirate with a map.
I had to tell you in person. I'm pregnant. Pretty sure it's yours. It's like a 1 in 10 chance. And she winks at Ben Browder.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Just get all of the Farscape jokes in now.
Just get it all in there.
I did tell you the Farscape spoiler of they have a kid together.
That's fine.
Which is why that line is perfect.
I love it.
So Daniel goes to leave. He has to finish packing because the Daedalus leaves in 12 hours. Has a whole 12 hours. Take a look at the tablet. So Daniel looks at it. It's gibberish. Bella's like, it's in code. And I have the cipher.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, look, I can read it. That's not the problem. I don't know how to understand it.
Yeah, I can know words and not understand what I'm reading. Yeah.
The person I acquired it from assured me that the treasure's here on Earth. And she doesn't know anything about this fair planet except as Cam and Daniel stand next to each other. She is pretty sure that there's a rather interesting, if somewhat limited, gene pool.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And the two men look at each other confused.
Yeah. I don't know that interesting. I think I would say, what's the word? Appealing. Yeah. Appealing if limited. Yeah.
It's fine.
It's like, hey, do you want mashed potatoes every night? It's like, I mean, I love mashed potatoes.
Listen, but if you give me different varieties of mashed potatoes.
I mean, yeah. Chives sometimes, sour cream and chives, sure. Sometimes a pat of butter. Sometimes some gravy.
Sometimes, you know what? Chipotle pepper.
Chipotle pepper's not a bad idea either. Every now and then, a sweet potato. I'm good with that too.
Well, that's when teal comes in.
Yes. I don't know what that means, but I love it.
Well, it's a different variety.
Uh-huh.
you know.
Of potatoes.
Okay.
I like potatoes.
In Daniel's office, he's almost entirely packed, and Vala pokes around as she explains that there is, there's still a few Gould out there. Mm-hmm. They're just not doing well. But they have a certain lifestyle they have become accustomed to.
Sure.
So they have to do what they do and sell what they have to sell in order to maintain that level. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of stuff on the market these days. Mm-hmm. If you know which market I mean.
It happens.
Vala just wants to know what this tablet and the treasure are worth.
Yeah.
Daniel
She's
picks up.
She's just a pirate. She's just a pirate.
A very sexy pirate.
With a map. She's basically her character in Uncharted.
Could you imagine Vala and Avantika from Critical Role getting together?
You need to watch the latest, the Uncharted 4 spin-off.
Okay.
Because the other voice is Laura Bailey.
I knew that part.
Okay.
My mind can paint pictures.
Yeah.
So Daniel picks up one of the other items in the box that Vala brought, and they're gold. Mm-hmm. The treasure's supposed to be ancient. She goes, no, these are separate.
Yeah.
These are Nut's ceremonial marriage bracelets, she says, And I love how Daniel is so bored. He's like, yeah, no, I have no clue who Nut is.
Don't care.
So her Nut and her husband of the moment, because she had a lot, would wear these. And Vala snapped bracelets, one on Daniel, and she snapped bracelets, one on herself.
She's like, oh, they're 80s slap bracelets, except evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Daniel can't remove it and call security over. Vala is not going to remove it until they find the treasure.
Super cool.
Because these bracelets link them together.
Yeah. So this has become a 90s sitcom with handcuffs.
Yeah.
They're like, oh no, we're cuffed to each other. How do we hide it from everybody the whole time?
Wasn't Joey and Chandler at some point handcuffed together?
They might have been. I just keep thinking, I think there was a Full House episode and they were trying to hide it all the time.
All I'm saying is if Joey and Chandler weren't handcuffed together at some point, they should have been.
Well, I feel like it needed to be Joey and Ross. Because Joey and Chandler, they'd be like, no, it's fine.
Yeah. But I think to me, that's the fun.
I think it is, yeah.
They would enjoy it for a week, and all of a sudden, the episode really picks up a week later.
Yeah.
And they're about to kill each other.
I think they were.
So in the lab, Dr. Lee is trying to cut through the bracelet. He's gone through 3 blades.
Yeah.
It's not even leaving a mark.
Yeah. You would think after the first blade, you'd be like, hey, this isn't going to work.
And then Dr. Lee starts contemplating, maybe if we remove the hands. And Daniel's like, I'm done.
Yeah, we're not taking my hand off, thanks.
Because SG12 checked her. The bracelets weren't giving any energy signature.
Yep. Yeah.
Even now, they're barely giving one off. Mm-hmm. Lee can't figure out what they do. And Daniel goes to leave, but collapses in the doorway.
Super cool. Everything's fine.
So Landry visits Vala in her room. Mm-hmm. We learn that Landry has a daughter around Vala's age. At least Landry guesses at Vala's age.
He's like, I'm pretty sure I've seen her wear that and fought her about it. That's really what he's thinking.
Probably.
Yeah.
I've seen her try to leave the house in that. Uh-huh. So Landry sternly says that he doesn't like being deceived. And Vala seemingly hostilely says, honestly, I mean, not hostilely, it's the opposite. Honestly says that, look, I don't want to hurt anyone. I just really hope this leads to treasure and hope it's great for everyone. And honestly, it's not easy out there, and a girl's got to do what a girl's got to do.
Look, I'm just a true chaotic neutral, and you're a lawful good, and it's just never going to work. We're never going to see eye to eye.
No.
Is really what's happening.
Essentially. Landry gives no shits about her sob story. Mm-hmm. Basically, in the end, it's going to be Daniel's call what happens to her, and we have this great, steady cam full round shot.
Yep.
And in the end, Vala collapses as well.
Uh-huh. It's great further character development for Landry. Hey, this dude's no pushover.
No.
Yeah.
In the infirmary is where the episode really gets good.
It's where the sitcom starts.
If it wasn't already good.
Yeah.
So Daniel wakes up to Teal'c sitting there. And I love that Teal'c comes back because Cam's like, this bracelet seemed goldy, so I called Teal'c.
Help me. And good thing he did.
And Teal'c was like, it's Daniel, it's my bro. Yeah. I'll come back for that.
Yeah. He could have just said something's wrong with Daniel. Yeah, and he would have come back.
Teal'c knows they're actually called Karmak. Mm-hmm. He's heard of them. They're kind of sort of myth and legendish.
Sure.
Cronus used to use them when a high-valued prisoner needed to be transported. The Jaffa would wear one, the prisoner would wear the other, and If they're separated for any period of time, one day you both get sick and die.
Super cool.
And with that part, Vala's like, I didn't know that part. She
Nobody
calls
told
from
me
this
that,
other bed
yeah.
where she's restrained.
So let's take a minute and decide. Is it Vaniel or Dala?
I kind of like Manuel.
I do too. Okay, I'm in.
Yeah. Kind of like Manuel.
Vaniel.
She just thought Daniel would get sick.
Mm-hmm. She's like, I didn't think I would be hurt in my monstrosity of an idea.
And Daniel is so pissed. He's like, how did you not know?
Yeah.
She goes, because the person I stole it from didn't tell me.
He was a liar.
And Daniel just throws a pillow at her in rage.
Yeah, I love that so much because there's one of my favorite stories of my grandparents.
Yeah.
Was, I think my grandfather did that to my grandma. We were all in the house. And somehow he was laying down in one part of the living room. We were in the dining room because my grandma was sewing. And she was just nagging him about something. And then I don't remember what she said, but she called him. And he just threw a pillow at her. Like, stop, I'm napping.
Yeah.
And leave me alone. I'm an old man who loves to nap because that's what grandpas do.
Yeah.
It's like the minute you become a grandpa, you're like, I nap everywhere now. Thanks, bye.
Maybe I need to become a grandpa.
Yeah. Let's become grandpas and just nap everywhere.
I'm down
and then
with
just be curmudgeons.
Good plan. I mean, my family's throwing salad at each other.
Salad. God, why?
I won't touch that story for now.
Cool. We'll save it for another day.
So, you know, no one really knows how to get them off. Bella's like, I do. Mm-hmm. I totally do. I mean, if the person I stole them from was right about that part.
Yeah. I mean, sure. At this point, you're trusting this guy. Cool.
And she will try to take him off as soon as she gets her part of the treasure.
Mm-hmm.
And Daniel just wants to clarify, too, Teal, real quick. If he kills Vala, he dies, too? He's thinking to himself, please, might be worth it.
Yeah. Please, can I? He's like, maybe I'll ascend again. Who knows? Anything's possible.
And Kim's like, what if we just go find the treasure?
Yeah. How about we just go on an adventure?
Because, by the way, Daniel, the Daedalus left 2 hours ago.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. You missed your bus.
I mean, it's not the Lost City, but it is ancient-y.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Either that or you have to marry the chick. I mean.
Yeah. What do you want from me?
And Vala's like, yeah, let's make babies.
Yeah. She's awful, and I love her for it.
I knew you would. The worst. I knew so bad that you would love Vala.
She's just fucking chaos.
Yeah, I knew you would. Like trust me, from the beginning of the series, I have been waiting for you to meet Vala.
Wow. Yeah,
because I knew you would love her. You would want to make a D&D character based on her.
Well, I mean, she's kind of taken form without knowing. She's a little bit Rosie.
She's a little bit Rosie. Yeah, she's like if Rosie and Ellie.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know. She's like if Rosie and Lou got together.
You know what? I said Ellie and I did mean Lou.
Yeah.
I did mean Lou in my head.
At least something else altogether.
No, well, that's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's if Rosie and Lou got together, this would be their love child.
Yeah. I like it.
So they huddle up at Daniel's office. He can't believe he missed the Daedalus for this. And since Jaffa counts as a recess until tomorrow, Teal'c's just going to stick around because, he's curious. We get a second indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Cam is excited. This is good. They're a team. We're working to unravel some cool ancient mystery. Any minute, Daniel's going to discover a key piece of information. They're going to be off on a grand adventure.
Yay. No.
And he does.
Too excited are Vala and Cam.
And he does find it, but it's odd. So they have the database that Atlantis sent back the last time Daedalus came back.
Mm-hmm.
And in there is a log of names of the ancients who left that planet and came to Earth with the city.
Sure.
The little thing.
Yeah.
And Daniel thinks he knows where the treasure is.
Oh yeah.
Even though the tablet doesn't say so.
I love that even as Daniel's annoyed, he's already like getting into Daniel mode.
He's like
Danieling it up now.
Oh, there's a word I'm trying to think of. He's begrudgingly Danieling.
Yes. Yeah. A begrudging Daniel.
Yeah. So the guy who signed this tablet is named Mirden. The other moment I was looking at you, waiting.
Yes, best ever. Greatest times.
Because I know you would recognize the name Mirden.
Because it's Merlin. Because it's fucking Arthur time.
Because, guys, in case you didn't know, Grace is a gigantic Arthurian legend fan.
In fact, I feel like at some point we had a conversation where I'm like, I'm surprised they haven't done King Arthur.
We have, and I believe I was drinking at the time.
I was like, why we not do Arthur? Best story ever.
So,
pretty much my favorite.
Cam's never heard of him. And Daniel's like, yeah, you have. His name's in the database, and Mirrodin's English name is different. Merlin.
It's motherfucking Merlin.
And he's like, King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table Merlin? He's like, yeah, pretty sure he was an ancient.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a genius,
Yep.
like, explanation for Merlin.
Yep.
Like, it might not be canon for me.
Well, I love it because it adds to some of the other topics we've talked about lately.
Yeah.
Because Merlin's a time traveler.
Yes.
Merlin, if you read T.H. White? T.H. White.
Yeah.
The Once and Future King.
Yes.
And the Sword of the Stone in particular, he talks about how he knows what's going to happen, how he's been in the future, in our future, and he's working backwards. He's basically a doctor.
Yeah.
But so he's this time traveler, which is great because we've just started to touch on the idea
of time traveling.
Asgard time travel.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, this is cool.
Of ancient time travel.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that goes into the legend of Merlin. It's a lot. I can't touch it all.
No, there's no way.
Like you can do like a college thesis on just Merlin.
Yeah.
So he wasn't always a wizard in the original stories. So there's stories of Mirrodin Willett. I probably butchered that. I'm sorry for anyone who speaks Welsh. He was a prophet and a man, and like no connection to Arthurian legend at all. And there's
it's like
also
a little bit of Rasputin vibe.
Yeah. And there was also a war leader called Ambrosius Aurelianus. They mention it later in the episode.
Okay.
And to basically they combine this new legend where they sort of connected those two characters.
Yeah, it's like it's an amalgamation.
Yeah. Some stories have Merlin's father being an incubus, which is where he got his magic powers from. And in some, he was killed by the Lady of the Lake.
Yeah.
It most basically assume at this point, if Merlin was a actual true person in history, he was most likely just the archdruid.
Oh, he's just kind of a badass.
He was just so awesome.
Just start with the Sword and Stone.
Well, I will tell you what I have started reading since we started watching this episode last week.
Okay.
I have started The Mists of Avalon.
Oh, wow. I haven't gotten there.
I will tell you, I know you have so much reading for school. I'm going to tell you how much you will love The Mists of Avalon.
Well, so we had to restart The Sword and Stone, the Once and Future King for school. So I want to finish that out.
Yeah, obviously.
And then I was like, well, I want to do the L'amour d'Arthur.
Yeah.
But then it's like, well, maybe I should do something a little lighter. So maybe Mists of Avalon.
Well, I will say that's the reason I think you would love this is because it is a feminist portrayal of the Arthurian legend.
That might be interesting.
Through Morgan Le Fay's eyes.
I could do that. There's also one written by John Steinbeck that I want to do.
Yeah.
There's so
It's
many
more if you
guys.
wanted to stick with the Arthurian legend trait.
Yeah.
So
no, the Steinbeck one is
really?
Is King Arthur.
Oh.
I will find it and bring it to you.
So in this, the Merlin is not a person. Merlin is a title that is handed from archdruid to archdruid.
Like
in the same way, the Lady of the Lake is not a person. The Lady of the Lake is the high priestess.
Yes.
Handed from person to person. So, seriously, I love Mists of Avalon. I haven't read it since I was in high school, so I'm really excited to go back with like some life knowledge.
Oh yeah.
And reread it from a very different perspective.
The Acts of King Arthur and His Noble Knights by John Steinbeck. That's the one I wanted to check out.
Interesting.
Because it's fucking Steinbeck writing.
Yeah.
So we'll see what that's
I do also, I believe somewhere in my DVDs, I have to check. I'm fairly certain I do have the, I think it was TNT miniseries
of Merlin
of Mists of Avalon.
I could watch that. That would be fine.
That is not the best adaptation. It's a very like safe for cable TV in the 90s version. But you know, it's
guys, let's just talk about
it stars Juliana Margulies.
Let's just talk about King Arthur and Camelot forever. Let's just do that.
So in the briefing room,
yes.
Daniel is also you know, going on the PowerPoint presentation about Arthurian legend, that when Arthur, quote unquote, died, he was taken on a barge through the Vale to Avalon, and the fact that many said he didn't die, that he will return one day, and Landry is so bored about all of this, he's basically checking his watch.
Anything, he's like, get to the book.
Daniel thinks at this point that maybe Avalon was a place that Merlin helped Arthur ascend. And Landry's like, what about the treasure?
Get to the fun times.
Well, some stories tell of the Knights of the Round Table stashing away treasure here from the far corners of the land and hiding them in the magical stronghold of Avalon.
In Glastonbury.
Including the Holy Grail, Cam remembers. And Vala's like, what's that worth?
Your life.
So Daniel continues about how the monks at Glastonbury Abbey found his grave, and how, according to some Celtic legends, Glastonbury Tor, which is the hill over the town, actually is hollow and contains the entrance to Avalon. No one's been able to find it, but if the ancients were involved, probably there's a reason.
It's findable. We can do it.
So Landry's gonna call the president, who will probably call the prime minister of Britain, and Landry leaves, and we learn Sam can't make it.
Oh, sad.
Because she's busy.
Being pregnant.
Forming a human. So on the Prometheus, the boys...
Building a child. I'm going to use that phrase.
Building a child?
I'm building a child.
Yeah. So on the Prometheus, the boys gather up since Dr. Lee thinks the bracelets have about 100-foot range. Gets sick about half an hour later. So maybe Daniel should sit this one out.
Fuck that.
Although Daniel's like, look, I miss Atlantis for this shit. I'm going. But then when he realizes that would include taking Vala with them, he's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't.
No. Go.
In the auxiliary control room, this brings back sweet memories to Vala, because this is where I beat you up, Daniel. Also, her coat
like
is
revisiting your first date.
Yeah.
Like, oh, remember the time that we had our first date here?
Yeah.
That I still do that with domestic partner boyfriend Jesse.
Also, I really love her coat.
Oh, yeah.
So Asgard sensors to the rescue. They found a large cavern, tunnel, tiny caverns. Vala's like, any giant piles of precious metal, with her stunning breasts right next to the guy's face.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Which is marked, by the way. We'll see him again. And they can't beam in with Asgard beams because it's too deep. And Vala's like, what about rings? I mean, ancients.
Yeah.
And shit.
Things and stuff.
So if the rings lock on, the radios aren't going to work. But at least they'll be able to go back and forth.
True.
So it looks like all four of them are going, and Vala's like, yeah.
Super psyched.
Cam says, ladies first, and Vala allows Daniel to go.
Yeah, of course. Of course she does.
And come on,
he's soft and squishy, and she must protect him.
I know. And I love how Cam's like, this is fun, he proclaims
We're
to
all
Teal.
having fun. Everyone is, the two newbies are so excited. And the other guys are like, I've fucking done this before. I'm done.
So they beam down. It's dark and empty, and Vala hasn't been this disappointed since Daniel and her had sex. And Daniel pauses, and Teal looks back at him.
And he's like, I think Teal's disappointed in Daniel.
Well, I think Daniel is going like, did we?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But Teal's like, dude, you're my bro. You should be better than that.
I know.
Yeah.
And they quickly find a sword in the stone.
Now, isn't it technically not in the stone? It's in an anvil. I was going to look up the story in the Sword in the Stone.
Again, I think it depends on which version of the story you're telling.
Okay. It's like there's a stone, and then there's an anvil on the stone, and then it's in the anvil.
Yeah, I think it depends on which story.
Fine. Okay.
We do know it's not Excalibur, though.
It's not Excalibur. Excalibur is the sword that he gets when the Sword in the Stone breaks.
Yes. From the lady in the lake who forged it.
And from her butt.
Huh?
That part I added.
Oh.
She forged it in her butt.
Yes. Just stuck it way up there, Morty.
Way up there. Pooped it out of her butthole.
Way up there, Morty.
Because swords are penises.
Because the penis is a hammer.
Yep. Okay, I'm done.
So Cam tries to pull it. It's not going to budge. And Vala tells Muscles to go try, and she'll split half of it with Teal. And he's like, no.
No.
So then a Merlin hologram ripples in.
Yeah.
who basically looks like Dumbledore.
Yeah, I like because it's reminiscent of like our very first dealings with the Asgard. It's like, here's our hologram.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dig it.
Welcome tonight to the Knights of the Round Table. With these new wealth of knowledge and truth, the spirit will be given access to the underworld, the storehouses of riches of Ambrosius Avalon, who he historically was the king before Uther Pendragon.
How is it spelled?
I may have mistyped that though. Or I think it's Aurelius.
I keep thinking of Marcus Aurelius, so I don't know.
It's not the same pronunciation.
Yeah,
It is different.
Okay.
But anyway, he was the king before Uther Pendragon, and there's various stories as to who he was in connection, like his uncle or whatever.
Yeah.
So Daniel starts to like recite legend and history, and everyone's like, tune out.
Mm-hmm.
While they explore themselves, and Vala also tries to subtly pull the sword, and no. So Daniel does go and point out.
I can't blame her for trying.
No, I would.
Yeah.
I mean, I still try the one at Disney.
Oh,
I know I'm not a kid, so it's not going to pull out for me.
Yeah. Dumb. Super dumb.
Sorry.
Pull it out.
I said pull out. Daniel does point out that Truth of Spirit's going to be hard for Vala. And she shoots back at Daniel that you know nothing about me. And he's like, yeah, because everything you say is a lie.
Yeah.
Duh.
Because you're a big liar.
And Cam's like, don't make me separate you two. Or
kill you.
Stick you together longer.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, Teal'c found two tunnels.
She's going to make him wear a get-along shirt.
So they split into groups. Guys, never split the party.
Don't split the party. Sing it with me.
So while Cam and Teal'c walk, Cam really loves the rapport building between Teal'c and says nothing. Vala wants a weapon. No. As they continue just to bicker like an old married couple.
Yeah.
Teal'c and Cam are in a dark room with an altar in the center. And as soon as they get close, the fires alight all the edges of it.
Yep.
And as they walk in, the stone door closet closes behind them, which can't be good.
No.
Wait for it. I know what you're about to say. So the other team can't hear him on the radio. They find their own room. And Daniel's like, if you immediately know the candlelight is fire, Daniel says, as the door closes behind them as well. And Daniel quickly realizes this is a test. In front of him is a silver and a gold pot.
Yeah.
One says the universe is infinite. The other says the treasure's in this pot. Did you make connections yet?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Would you like to share your connection with this?
The fact that we did a one-shot, and those were the puzzles that were put in front of us to answer. It was great times.
So
I was like, no, these puzzles are familiar.
And I couldn't say this on the podcast, but yes, I did a one-shot months ago. Months and months ago. And I needed some dungeon puzzles, and I went, this will be amusing because Grace won't know these, and then she gets to them, she'll know them. I took these two puzzles and stuck them in a D&D dungeon.
Yes, I do want to say that I did better than Vala.
You did do better than Vala.
And I was like, this is mine.
I did make the numbers one harder because I didn't put them in
they were
with the face. It was all tumbled.
They were just crazy relics.
Yeah,
but we got it. We got to it. Yeah.
So yes. Vala's like, cool, and goes to open the pot that says this is treasure. And Daniel's like, don't touch
things.
It.
Stop touching everything.
It's too obvious.
Check for traps. Check for traps.
Vala again tries reaching for the other pot. He's like, no, just give me a minute. She tries reaching for the pot. Not a minute. It's like a dog that just tries to sneak while you're not looking.
Yeah. She goes full Drakey with my dinners.
With Teal'c and Cam, it's a bunch of small stone tiles with carvings on them. Neither one can read the ancient writing. He figures out it has to be like arrange them in order somehow. Teal'c doesn't want to deal with any of this, and he fires his P90 at the door, and he's like, whoa, bullets!
I love his reaction here.
So good.
It's the greatest thing. And he's just like, I'm so scared to be around you.
Cam takes the stones and starts to look at the puzzle, and Teal'c has this tiny grin on his face. Like, I want to know if Teal'c was testing Cam.
Oh, sure. Of course he was. He was trying to see how much fun he could have with them.
Meanwhile, Vala just wants to open them both, and Daniel's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
And like tries to shortchange the logic and just opens the silver pot.
No.
And it's empty.
You cannot disarm this trap.
She's like, that's not fair.
Yeah.
And And so she goes to open
She's
the gold
so
one.
cocky.
And Daniel like grabs her hand. Would you stop?
Yeah. We're gonna die.
He's like, we're already trapped. How much worse can it get?
Don't say that.
Rumble,
Never say
rumble,
that
rumble,
part.
rumble.
Yeah.
And
Have you never watched Indiana Jones?
the ceiling starts lowering.
So I want to share a real quick story.
Well, I knew it was a mistake the moment she said it.
Yeah. The Indiana Jones ride in Disneyland in California.
I have not been on that one.
Super fucking cool. My favorite
I've
ride
heard
in all Disney
so
parks.
many people say this.
So when I was little, I'd get this like back pass where you would go in through the exits because I was a very sick child and you don't wait in lines. One of the things you have to use to get down there is an elevator that feels like the room's closing in on you and all of the doors are doors.
Oh, geez.
And so you go in one, but you can't tell. Like it just looks like walls and you're like, where is it going to open? So I love this so much.
Awesome.
Okay.
So meanwhile, Cam tries one order. It didn't work. Their stealing starts lowering on them.
Yeah. We're going to die here.
A third indeed. Cam's like, I'm going to try again. Yeah. Vala opens the other pot. Both are empty.
Sure. Why not?
Daniel, she's like, they're empty. He's like, I know.
Yeah.
But they're empty. And Daniel's like, both are panicked. Teal'c is trying to strongman the ceiling up.
Yeah, going full barbarian. He's just like brute force.
Second option didn't work. And, bad.
No, we're just here now. This is it. Everything's fine, right?
Both sides are in a panic. And
Thankfully,
Cam's like,
there's a crap ton more episode left. Oh, no, wait.
Do you ever get a bad feeling about something? To be continued.
That felt awesome. Yeah, it was one of those where I'm like, well, this is fine. This will be resolved. Nope. No, they won't.
Nope.
No, they won't. Everything sucks and everyone's going to die. And that's why Cam's going to need a new team.
To be fair, you know how to solve the riddles.
I know how to solve the riddles. I can yell at the TV, and I probably will.
You will.
So
you already were.
This is fun. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see what else is going to happen. I really love this. I hope we get a lot more Vala all the time.
I love Vala.
I don't know what's going to happen with this weird hybrid team situation.
It's interesting.
But we will see.
We will.
Until then. So are we doing this? Are we doing part 2?
We're doing part 2.
Yes. Okay. So we'll see you guys next week with part 2.
Yes.
Of Avalon. Until then, find us on Twitter at Terra Podcast.
Find us on Facebook. There's no place like Terra.
Email us at theresnoplaceliketerra@gmail.com.
Patreon.com/theresnoplaceliketerra.
Find us and tell me if you watched Midsummer and how amazing you think it was. That's all.
Sure.
Okay, we love you. Bye.
Bye.
Done.